Behind the palace's gleaming facade, Camilla's exacting standards have created a fraught environment for staff. Insiders describe a workplace governed by her vision of royal service, one that prizes refinement, restraint, and an almost aristocratic polish. Employees who deviate from this ideal, whether through their social background, personal style, or physical presentation, have reportedly faced her disapproval, with some dismissed outright or driven to resign under unrelenting pressure. One emblematic case is that of Amara Oki, a talented events coordinator of Nigerian descent who joined Camilla's household in 2020. Oki, armed with a degree in hospitality management and a stellar professional record, was dismissed after less than a year. The cited reason was her inappropriate presentation, specifically her vibrant, culturally significant head wraps, which Camilla allegedly deemed distracting for official engagements. Sources claim Oki was given no opportunity to address the critique, leaving her heartbroken after what she had viewed as a career-defining role. Her story, detailed in a 2023 The Times exposé, struck a chord with other former staffers who recounted similar experiences of being judged for superficial or subjective reasons. These accounts form a troubling pattern. Anonymous aides, speaking to outlets like The Guardian in 2024, described colleagues reprimanded for minor infractions, a scarf deemed too bold, a hairstyle considered unconventional, or quietly sidelined for lacking the refined demeanour Camilla favoured. One ex-staffer recalled a colleague who resigned after Camilla's pointed critique of their untidy appearance, a remark delivered with such chilling precision that it shattered their confidence. Another spoke of a pervasive fear among staff of being deemed not quite right for reasons that seemed to hinge on class or aesthetic alignment with Camilla's traditionalist ideals. These incidents suggest a queen consort who, while charismatic in public, enforces a rigid hierarchy in private, prioritizing conformity over individuality and alienating those who don't fit her narrowly defined mold. The impact on staff morale has been palpable. A 2024 Daily Mail report cited anonymous sources claiming that turnover in Camilla's household outpaces other royal offices, with some attributing this to her uncompromising standards. Former employees describe a culture where fear of her disapproval stifles creativity and authenticity, contrasting sharply with the monarchy's public push for modernization. While Camilla's supporters argue her standards uphold the dignity of royal service, critics contend they reflect an outdated elitism that clashes with Britain's increasingly diverse identity. In a striking contrast, Amara Oki found redemption and opportunity under Catherine, Princess of Wales. In 2021, Catherine, renowned for her empathetic and inclusive leadership, learned of Oki's dismissal through palace networks and promptly offered her a role as an events planner for the Royal Foundation. The move, though never publicly framed as a rebuke of Camilla's decision, was widely interpreted as such within royal circles. Oki thrived in her new position, orchestrating high-profile initiatives like the Earthshot Prize and earning praise for her creativity, professionalism, and resilience. Catherine builds a team, not a hierarchy, a Kensington Palace insider told Hello in 2024. Oki echoed this sentiment in a 2023 Vogue interview, lauding Catherine's approach. She values your contribution, not your appearance. The remark, widely seen as a subtle reference to her earlier ordeal, underscored the divergent cultures within the royal household. Catherine's team is celebrated for its diversity and cohesion, with a 2024 Guardian analysis noting that her staff retention rates far surpass those of other royal offices. Her household's emphasis on accessibility, evident in initiatives like her early childhood development programs, reflects a commitment to mirroring modern Britain's pluralism. Catherine's intervention in Oki's case was more than a professional lifeline. It was a powerful statement. By rehiring Okeke, she not only restored a talented individual's career, but also signaled a progressive vision that stands in sharp relief against Camilla's traditionalism. This dynamic has fueled perceptions of a generational divide within the monarchy, with Catherine embodying a forward-looking approach that resonates with a younger, more diverse public. Her ability to foster loyalty and inclusivity has made her household a beacon of what the monarchy could become, amplifying the contrast with Camilla's more rigid domain. Camilla's public image faced a severe test in December 2022 during a Buckingham Palace reception for domestic violence advocates. Ngozi Fulani, founder of Sister Space, a London-based charity supporting abuse survivors, attended as an honoured guest. The event took a troubling turn when Lady Susan Hussey, a longtime aide to Camilla and a fixture of the royal establishment, repeatedly questioned Fulani's heritage, pressing, "Where are you really from?" despite Fulani's clear assertion of her British identity. Fulani later described the exchange as violating and culturally insensitive, igniting a media firestorm that reverberated globally. The incident, covered extensively by The Guardian, BBC, and international outlets, sparked fierce debate about diversity within the royal household. On X, Fulani's account went viral, with users criticising Camilla for failing to protect a guest at her own event. Camilla's advocacy feels hollow when her aide can humiliate Ngozi, one post, reposted over 15,000 times, declared. The backlash intensified as Fulani's charity faced a surge of online harassment in the aftermath, which critics argued Camilla could have mitigated with a swift public condemnation. Instead, Hussey resigned within hours, and the palace issued a statement labelling the remarks unacceptable, with Hussey offering a formal apology through official channels. Camilla's work with domestic violence charities, including Safe Lives and Women's Aid, has been a defining pillar of her tenure. A 2023 Safe Lives report credited her advocacy with boosting public donations by 20%, and her visits to refugees have been praised for their warmth and authenticity. Yet the Fulani incident cast a long shadow over these achievements. "You can't champion women's safety while ignoring the harm done to that poor woman at your event," commentator Afua Hirsch wrote in a 2023 Vogue op-ed. The controversy exposed the monarchy's struggle to navigate Britain's growing diversity, with Camilla at the epicenter of the storm. The incident also highlighted broader institutional challenges. A 2024 independent report revealed that the palace only introduced mandatory diversity training in response to the Fulani episode, a delay that critics argued reflected a reactive rather than proactive approach. On X, discussions about the monarchy's inclusivity gaps continue to simmer, with users citing the incident as evidence of a disconnect between the royal household's public rhetoric and its internal culture. For Camilla, the episode remains a blemish on her advocacy, underscoring the fragility of her progressive credentials. The palace's response to these challenges has struggled to quell discontent. While Camilla's outreach to Fulani was a step toward amends, the lack of broader, proactive reforms, such as comprehensive diversity initiatives, has frustrated observers. The introduction of diversity training in 2024, while a positive step, was seen by many as belated, with The Independent noting that it came nearly 2 years after the Fulani incident. Meanwhile, Catherine's inclusive approach continues to resonate, with her 68% approval rating in the same YouGov poll, underscoring her appeal as a modern, compassionate royal. Her ability to foster a diverse, loyal team has positioned her as a standard-bearer for the monarchy's future, amplifying the contrast with Camilla's more traditionalist domain. The stories of Amara Oki, Ngozi Fulani, and countless unnamed staffers serve as poignant reminders of the weight of influence and the cost of failing to wield it inclusively. They highlight the power of those, like Catherine, who champion a more equitable vision, and the challenges facing those, like Camilla, who struggle to adapt. For the Queen Consort, the path forward is fraught but clear. To lead a household that reflects the nation it serves, she must embrace change, not just in policy, but in spirit. Only then can she hope to reconcile the shadows of her influence with the light of her advocacy, securing a legacy that endures in a rapidly changing world.